Many in the media are upset that, well, they were reporting that Donald Trump fell on stage after he was startled by some loud noises. Well, the American people figured out exactly what happened 2 seconds after seeing the video. And so they're blaming Elon Musk and another billionaire hedge fund manager, Bill Ackman, for shaping the narrative because they both unequivocally endorsed Donald Trump after the event and both pointed out the obvious about what happened and who incited it. As expected, many of them are blaming Donald Trump, like The Atlantic, which ran this headline, "The gunman and the would-be dictator." And now that we've had some time to begin processing and analyzing what happened, it's abundantly clear just how close we came to living in a completely different world and a horrifying reality. This illustration showing what would have happened if Donald Trump hadn't turned his head a split second before the shot was fired to look at a chart that was displayed on the big screen at the event. And there's going to be a lot of information that the liberal media is going to try dumping down the memory hole in the days, weeks, and months ahead. Like the fact that the chairman of the January 6th committee, Democrat Congressman Benny Thompson, tried to get President Trump's Secret Service protections removed just a few months ago. Yesterday, old Joe addressed the nation from the Oval Office and finally admitted the obvious, because Saturday night, hours after the event, he refused to call it an assassination attempt, even though everybody knew that 2 seconds after it occurred. But despite having a teleprompter, he still could barely put together complete sentences.
Thankfully, former Trump is not seriously injured. I spoke with him last night. I'm grateful. He's doing well, and Jill and I keep him and his family in our prayers.
I don't know what they put into the prompter, but it sounded like one of his writers snuck a line in there about making America great again. Listen.
You know, we're blessed to live in the greatest country on earth, and I believe that with every soul, every power of my being. So tonight, I'm asking every American to recommit, to make America, think about it. What's made America so special?
Wait a minute, we got to rewind that. What was that, old Joe?
So tonight, I'm asking every American to recommit, to make America
great again. We're trying, sir. Please just get out of the way. And now numerous videos have emerged showing that numerous attendees at the event saw the gunman on the roof. Not just saw somebody on the roof. Not just saw somebody suspicious on the roof. They saw somebody and they saw that that person had a gun and they were trying to alert the police and Secret Service about it.
He was doing the job. I wouldn't even be doing this. I'd be at some beautiful place with gorgeous ocean.
Look, they're all pointing.
Look, they're all pointing.
Yeah, it's almost on top of the roof. Look. There he is right there. Right there, see him? He's laying down. See him?
Yeah, he's laying down.
And son, I'm here with you fighting like hell to get a senator.
What's happening?
And to make sure
everybody sees him. It's obviously suspicious.
Yeah, look. There he is.
Because we have millions and millions of people in our country.
Calls over the police. Officer.
Dangerous people. Criminals. We have criminals.
We have drug
dealers. We have people that
right
should not be here.
Right on the roof.
It's much tougher than it happens.
You went right on the roof again.
That is obviously not the business owner or a photographer who decided to climb up onto the roof to try to get a bird's eye view of the event. That is something extremely suspicious. Here's another video showing these two people who appear to see something suspicious and start running. And then there's a guy in red here who appears to be a photographer getting photos, but probably sees the gun and is running for shelter. There's a cop walking over there, and then the shots ring out.
We noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, and, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle.
A rifle.
We could clearly see him with a rifle, absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police are like, huh, what? Like they didn't know what was going on. We're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here. We see him. He's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for 2-3 minutes, Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots ring out.
There's a lot of discussion around this guy because he appeared to have the shooter in his scope, but then didn't fire until after the shooter shot first. And so there are rumors that he wasn't authorized to shoot, that he was waiting for the authorization, and there was a stand-down order. The Secret Service issued a statement saying that they don't need authorizations to shoot, so in his defense, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt for now. He probably didn't actually see the gun. He probably saw, because of the slope of the roof, saw somebody crawling around or saw the top of somebody's head over there, scoped it out, wasn't sure, didn't want to shoot just in case it was a photographer up there. The person who really is responsible for this, other than the media inciting this lunatic and the Democrat Party for trying to paint Donald Trump as Hitler, is whoever was in charge of security at that event, because once there was a suspicious person on top of a roof, then Donald Trump should have been immediately pulled from the event until the area was secure. There's a lot of disinformation and a lot of misinformation going around about this event, like the morons who are spreading an obvious troll post from one of the Chans claiming to be from that officer, and that he was given a stand-down order for at least 3 minutes. If this was him, he would have posted that on his Facebook page or on his Instagram account or on Twitter. He wouldn't have posted it on one of the anonymous Chan boards claiming that it was him blowing the whistle over there. And what a surprise, this is the fat, most likely lesbian, that old Joe appointed to be the head of the Secret Service, whose primary goal was not protecting the president and presidential candidates, but increasing diversity in the Secret Service.
So I think this agency does an extraordinary job of developing leaders. From a very early stage, we hire agents and officers, and we put them in positions of authority, and we enable them to make decisions, and that does develop some great quality leaders, and our agency is full of them. And I look forward to a day where we're able to talk about this agency and whoever is leading this agency and not have to distinguish, they're the second female or the fifth or the sixth, and that diversity is just part of this agency, and it's not even thought about.
She literally made it her goal to make the Secret Service comprised of at least 30% women. This is one of their recruiting posters. Women at the Secret Service. Women working as special agents, uniformed division officers, and administrative, professional, and technical personnel at the Secret Service fulfill our agency's public safety and security mission with integrity and strength. Secret Service prioritizes recruiting women candidates. And here's one of those candidates cowering behind the other agents who were putting their life on the line to protect Donald Trump's life. This meme illustrates perfectly what happened. Secret Service before DEI and after. And old Joe's former spokeswoman, press secretary Jen Psaki, who fled that sinking ship just in the nick of time for a gig over at MSNBC, had this to say.
For anyone out there who has a platform, who thinks the moment right now is to be political and attack the other party, you are feeding into the danger. You are making it more likely there's retaliation. I'm incredibly scared. I'm scared for journalists. I'm scared for people who have public platforms.
You're scared of possible backlash because of you and your peers' consistent smearing of Donald Trump as a dictator. And now maybe you're finally realizing that that was a terrible thing to do. It's dangerous, they say, to remind the American people what the Democrats and the liberal media have been saying and doing for the last 8 years, and showing some of the clips like this.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
Oh, but we should just move along. No big deal. Just the President of the United States calling us a threat to America. Here's Democrat Congressman Dan Goldman, who is one of the liberal media's new darlings, who will probably be running for president in 2028. Keep your eyes open for that. Ramping up the rhetoric even more.
It's just unquestionable at this point that man cannot see public office again. He is not only unfit, he is destructive to our democracy, and he has to be eliminated.
What did they think was going to happen when they consistently said that Donald Trump was a dictator, that he was Hitler reincarnated, and that if he wins the election, that nobody's ever going to be able to vote ever again because he's going to just be the supreme leader for eternity?
A vote for Donald Trump may mean the last election that you ever get to vote in. And again, I don't say that lightly, and it I think is heartbreaking that that's where we are. But people have to recognize that a vote for Donald Trump is a vote against the Constitution.
In your view, would happen if he were to be reelected?
Oh, I can't even think that, because I think it would be the end of our country as we know it. You know, when I was Secretary of State, I used to talk about one and done. And what I meant by that is that people would get legitimately elected, and then they would try to do away with elections and do away with opposition and do away with a free press. And you could see it in countries where, well, Hitler was duly elected.
That's right.
Right? And so all of a sudden, somebody with those tendencies, those dictatorial, authoritarian tendencies, would be like, oh, okay, we're going to shut this down. We're going to throw these people in jail. And
that's exactly what your party has been doing. And here's old Joe just 2 days ago.
Most importantly, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, Trump is a threat to this nation.
But when somebody like J.D. Vance, who very well may be Donald Trump's VP pick, we'll find out soon enough, points out the obvious, saying that this was not just some isolated incident, and the central premise of the Biden campaign is that President Donald Trump is an authoritarian fascist who must be stopped at all costs, and that rhetoric led directly to President Trump's attempted assassination. Then you get people like Adam Kinzinger, crying Adam Kinzinger, saying that this should absolutely disqualify J.D. Vance from being a VP. So I guess over the coming days, weeks, and months, we're going to have to replay some of the Democrats and Hollywood celebrities' greatest hits to remind them what hypocrites they are by showing them videos of them literally calling for violence on a regular basis against Donald Trump and against us. But for now, save 20% off of any of my shirts at markdice.com by using the promo code YOUMISSED at the checkout. One word, you missed. So order your MAGA Mafia shirt, your Teflon Don shirt, and appeal to heaven. Thank you, God, for protecting Donald Trump or any of my awesome designs. Now, many of them, not all, but most, available in tank tops for the summer as well. So head on over to markdice.com or click the link in the description below. Enter the promo code YOUMISSED at the checkout to save 20% off through this week. And check them out